Now Liddesdale has ridden a raid, and they'd a better stayed at home. For Peter Whitfield he's dead, and Jock o' the side is to prison gone. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Sybil is down the river gone, with all of her skirts up in her arms. She never gave over swift running until she came to Mangerton. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. What news, my sister dear, said the laird was just to meet set down. Peter Whitfield he is slain, and my son Jock is in prison bound. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Never fear, sister Sybil, says he, for I've yokes of oxen 83. I've droves of cattle and troops of sheep, I'd give them all for to save you, Johnny. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Up then spoke out Hobie Noble, an English outlaw tried and true. Says, give me 5 good riding men, and I'll fetch Jock o' the side for you. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. We'll stuff up all our bags with straw, and our horses they must go unshod. We will not ride like men o' war, but like poor peddlers on the road. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Hobie has mounted his good grey mare, with Willie on his bay behind. With the laird's Jock and the laird's Wat, and Michael and Mudge for the water a tyne. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. But when they came to Cullerton Ford, the water was up, they could not go. And there they spied a good old man, his boy and he were at the plough. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Oh, I have dwelt here 60 year, the time it runs here like the sea. I never saw man nor horse go o'er, except it were a horse a tree. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Says Mudge the miller, we'd best turn back, but Hobie says, Mudge, now that won't do. And on they rode till they found a ford they might ride over 2 by 2. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Then they came into Swinburne Wood, and there then they felled a tree, with 20 snags cut on each side, the length was 30 foot and 3. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. The 6 o' them bore up the plank as light as it had been a flea, and carried it to Newcastle jail, and scaled the wall up by the tree. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Then Hobie Noble broke a door, and the laird's Wat he broke 3, until they came up to the room where Jock was praying so mournfully. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. God bless thee, Sybil, o' the side my mother I hold so dear, said he. If you knew this night that I was here, a woeful woman you would be. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. And fare thee well, Laird Mangerton, and ever I say, God be with thee. For if ye knew that I was here, you'd sell your lands for to borrow me. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. But who is this by stroke of 12 that knows and calls my name to me? I am a bastard brother of thine, tonight we've come for to set you free. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. But Jock o' the side says, go away, brothers, or ye'll be taken as well as me. There's 15 stone of Spanish iron laid on me fast with lock and key. My farting diddle, a loud our diddle. Never fear, said the laird's Jock, we'll work without, you'll work within. And 6 of them tried that iron door, but there's none alive could break it in. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. It fears me sore, says Mudge the miller, the time is past for us to flee. Fie on thee, Mudge, then, says Hobie, for I fear a man ye never shall be. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Hobie had Flanders files 3, and he filed the lock of that iron door. Took chalk and chains upon his back, says, see that you never come here no more. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Down the toll booth stair came they, and then they all made haste to ride. They tied Jock up on Willie's Bay, for he could neither sit nor stride. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Then Hobie how he smiled and laughed, says Jock, how winsomely ye ride, with both your feet upon one side, and troth ye sit just like a bride. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. When they came into Swinburne Wood, Hobie took out his files 3. They filed the bolts from off Jock's feet, that he might ride more easily. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Then Michael looked o'er his left shoulder, to horse, now lads, cried he, for yonder comes the Lord Lieutenant with 20 men in his company. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. And there was horsing then in haste, and cracking of whips out o'er the lea. But when they came to the river Tyne, it now was rumbling like the sea. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Up then spoke poor Mudge the miller, I'll bless you all and say goodbye. My horse is limping, he will not swim, I'd rather be taken here than die. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Fie on thee, Mudge, then, says Hobie, it's only the fearful that must die. I'll take thy horse, now take my mare, and the devil drown my mare and thee. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Now the water they all have taken, by 1s and 2s they all swam free. And when they stood on the Scottish side, they wrung their clothes right drunkenly. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Come through the water now, Lord Lieutenant, come through and drink some wine with me. There's an alehouse not far off, it will not cost you 1 penny. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Oh, now let all your taunting be, for I think ye are some witch's son. There's not a man in the king's army that would have tried what you have done. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Well then, if ye be gone with a rogue, pray throw the irons across to me. We'll keep them to shoe, our horses true, they've bought them all so dear from thee. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. The 7 are up again on horse, to Liddesdale fast as they could ride. Upon the morn he was to die, Jock danced a turn by the fireside. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. The laird says, bless ye, Hobie noble, a bowl for all the loyal men. He fetched us home, good Jock o' the side, we thought we never would see again. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. And then they drank a bowl of punch, and after that they filled another. If they don't give o'er their drinking yet, just as they had been brother and brother. When my fadding diddle, a loud out diddle. Jock of the Side. The Anglo-Scottish Border. There are several texts of it, and I cross-pollinated There's an English version of the story where the hero is Archie of Cawfield, and I took some versions, put them together. And the tune I got from Bertrand Bronson's singing tradition of the child ballads. So that's the old tune and the old words. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel for ongoing postings. Be well.